views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail. Wow. Hey, everybody. Welcome. It's so great to have all of you tuning us in and turning us on. I am so thrilled about the show today and about what we're going to talk about. And, you know, how both Tim Darter and Steve Kramer of Spirit Fire Radio have come to the forefront. And, you know, this is what I love about this, Benny. It's kind of the deal where, you know, when you get to hang out with people and you see that their dreams are turning into a reality, and that reality, you know, is bringing joy, not just into their lives, but into the lives of so many. It is great to be able to share all of this with the folks here in the show, because so often we kind of hang out and we think, yeah, is this all there is? I mean, famous song out there, is this all there is, right? And yet we get to inspire each other to not just think about a life that is filled with joy and abundance and fun, but we get to live it. And so today we get to chat with Tim and Steve about what it means to be in this place of the practice of living awareness meditation. What is that? And then what is it about this 14-step meditation practice that they are both now sharing with the world? And I could probably sit here and talk about them for the next 20 minutes, but I think we need to talk with them. Thank you both for joining me. Steve, Tim, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Hey, Pat, it's Steve. It's great to be here. Great to be back.
Hello, this is Tim. Yes, thank you for having us back.
Well, here's what I love about this. You know, let's have a little question about, you know, the journey, if we could, for a minute. You know, here we are talking about this message that's coming out into the world, what you're sharing with people, and we're going to talk more about that. But let's talk for a minute about what this journey has been like for each of you since you said yes to creating Spirit Fire Radio. And, you know, how is that vibe, you know, being embedded in the retreat center? Who'd like to go first? Steve, you want to go?
Sure, I'd love to. Yes is a great word, and one we say all the time, and we're so happy to say it to the radio show. And we've just watched with every yes, you know, we sort of watch it unfold, and we keep watching it turn and manifest into something new. And we start next week, which is amazing. Yeah. So here it is. You know, we put this all together really in the winter and spring, and so many amazing things have happened. And really, the impetus for that was being at the retreat center and just having so many amazing people come through our doors. It's just like this revolving door of teachers and seekers and healers and presenters, and having this amazing dialogue and witnessing right in front of us at the center the myriad of ways in which the practice of living awareness, which is Spirit Fire's own meditation practice, so many ways we see people using the tools that we're teaching them online. We're seeing people use them on their own. We're seeing ways that consciousness is really being expressed. Consciousness is being sought out. People are really taking their time and asking, you know, what is consciousness? What is awareness? And how can I bring that and live that more in my life? So at our retreats, our own retreats, and people who come to the center with their own programming, we just sit back and we watch this all unfold. We watch them sort of wrestle with their demons. We watch them open up to bigger concepts and insights, and we watch them take their time and become mindful. with their time at the center, with their time in nature, with the time with food. And so to be able to share some of these guests and actually indeed our path, which was a matter of saying yes and tuning into our own lives and saying, what is it I really need? Where is my joy? Where does my joy sit within me? And how can I bring that to the forefront? And it turned into a retreat center. It turned into a meditation practice and really standing behind that. And it turned into Tim and I even coming together at the same time.
And then into the radio show. And what's really been fun is as the people come through the retreat center, our awareness is just, growing every day as we see, oh my gosh, that'd be a really great topic to discuss and share with everyone else. Oh my gosh, that participant is dead on and right on and at the cutting edge of something we'd want to share with everyone else. So it's been, and now as we sit and get ready to line up our own guests and talk through with what we want to discuss with them, we just get more invigorated and more excited about sharing it with everyone else again.
Yeah. Remember when we first met and I said to you, somehow this thing starts to take on a life of its own. Has that been your experience as well? Because it's one thing to say it to folks, right? And then to be on the other side of it where things start to really operate in a way that you can't logically put on paper. Have you experienced that so far, even before you actually now have even started the show, right?
Yeah, I'd say we've seen some of that. We see things manifesting at the retreat center and we're like, wow, we couldn't have asked for a better topic to come for us to then share as an episode on the radio show. And yeah, all the work that goes into creating each episode is manifesting itself and moving us forward.
One thing I find pretty brilliant is I first came across the dynamic woman who created the practice of living awareness, which is this synthesis of many different traditions and kind of boiled down into one meditation practice, which we'll talk about a lot, during the radio show, during our show. And I first heard her on talk radio. I just realized that, like a little light went on, and I thought, I actually heard her on the radio for the first time. And I kept listening to this recording again and again, and I thought, wow, she's really got away. So it's funny that it's come back full circle. And of course, we want her to be our first guest. And I thought, how interesting. We've got a radio show. And now I get to ask her all of the questions and get to have her in the guest seat. So it is wonderful how these things come around.
Yeah, it's wonderful and it's beautiful. And what it does too, that's what I hear you saying is what it also does is it opens the door for more possibilities, things perhaps that you hadn't thought about. And so today we're going to talk about what some of the folks are that are coming through, what some of the topics are that you are thinking about, and talk about how this practice of living awareness and how the radio show, all of this, is the tool that people are seeking. Let's have a chat about this because, I talk so often about the world we live in, how fast-paced it is, and where folks are in their lives and not having enough time. And, certainly the three of us knows a little bit about that. I guess my question is, what have you now been more aware of about the people that are coming through your doors? Are you noticing different things about them that perhaps before the radio show you hadn't?
Well, this is Steve. I would certainly say that though life is getting fast-paced, I would say that our ability to meet life at that pace has been revved up as well. I believe we can have a little more fun with it. We can have a little more joy. And what I've noticed is the tendency to really be the point a lot of presenters and the point a lot of teachers are getting across is to just open to the energy that's available right now, open to it, as opposed to being thrown by it, get in the momentum of it, flow with it. And with the radio show, we noticed that, we're not without our times of going, oh my goodness, what have we gotten ourselves into? And we realize, well, we're just out of the flow. Get back in the flow, get receptive, get creative, get in the flow with it all. And if that isn't, a tool of meditation, which is the flow of the breath, just where am I? How can I align? How can I get really aligned with what's happening right now and get in the flow of momentum? And so I'm noticing that although life is getting faster paced, it's really how do we stay with it? How do we stay positive? How do we stay within that momentum and at the same time allow inspiration in, allow newness in, allow creativity in.
Wow. And, one of the things that I want to ask each of you as well is, are you seeing any changes in yourselves? And this is where you get to talk about the other person. This is where you get to say, this is where Steve says, hey, Tim, you know what I've noticed?
We get to know each other very well through this whole process.
That's right.
That's wonderful.
He's been a wonderful sounding board for me, that's for sure, and definitely a good shoulder. What I can say that I've found for myself is putting the Spirit Fire Radio on our plate is one more thing to align with and one more thing to fit into our busy schedules. We love running the retreat center, and one of our things we always strive not to have happen is have anything impact what it is we give to the retreat center and to those who are staying at the particular time, so that everyone gets the full experience that we're able to offer. And so fitting that in with the radio show, I will say, is showing itself to make us have to juggle one more thing in creative ways.
Although what's beautiful is just that, are the creative ways that you start to see everything coming together. You hear a line, you see somebody processing something, and you realize, wow, the world needs to hear that. The world needs to hear you. You've just had this aha moment, and the process, we watch the process that people go through and what they take back to their lives, what certainly they're sharing with their family, what they're sharing with their friends, what they're sharing with their higher selves. And there's a sparkle to them and a glow to them and a process that we all know so well and we need to be reminded of regularly. Right. And so it's wonderful that we can sort of put that in the mix and creatively bring that to people through the airwaves, which is just wonderful.
Yeah, I love it. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk with Tim and Steve about, these folks that do come through the revolving door, so to speak. What are some of these folks? Who are some of these folks? Well, who are the healers, the teachers, the meditators, the seekers that enter Spirit Fire Retreat Center? Why do they come? What do they learn? And how is mindfulness a part of all of that? We're going to take a short break. When we come back, more with Tim Darter and Steve Kramer. Of course, you can go to spiritfire.com. When we come back, we'll have lots of information for you, not just about the center, but about this radio show, what they've got planned, how it's going to unfold, and the juiciness of all that. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Well, I was sitting, waiting, wishing you believed in superstitions. Then maybe you'd see the signs. But Lord knows that.
Tune in to The Truth is Funny with Colette Steffen each Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This hit show will have you thinking outside the box and riding the wave of infinite potential. Join Colette on the Higher Self Network, inspiring listeners to shine their brilliance and ensure success while roaring with laughter as they recognize the humor of the giant cosmic joke. Visit thetruthисfunny.com.
Tune in to the hit show Masters Chambers with your trusted friend Connie Fife. Mondays, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Each week, Connie will connect you with the best thought leaders from around the globe to share their strategies and best practices. Getting better together. To book Connie, visit ConnieFifeSpeaks.com.
Would you like to remember more of your dreams or understand the ones you have? How about leveraging your sleeping hours to create more in your life? Most of us aren't familiar with this powerful aspect of ourselves. Join Lynn Brown, host of Get Into It, Winning at the Game of Life, at her unique Astral Allies Retreat, September 24th through the 27th. This 3-night retreat in the Cascade Mountains includes food, lodging, energy healings, free time in nature, and immeasurable spiritual growth. Email lynn@ruintoit.com to register as space is limited.
Called the Oprah of Radio by her listeners, award-winning host Dr. Pat Baccili is blowing the doors off of traditional talk radio. Get ready for an energizing delivery and powerful interviews with leaders in the field of human potential. Dr. Pat's fresh, new perspective on living life full out has catapulted her show to the top of talk radio. Tune in and Dr. Pat will help you thrive instead of merely survive. Visit thedrpatshow.com. That's THEDRPatShow.com for listening times in your area.
Holistic Medical Center is where you find it all. A healthy space with doctors who care, see, and listen to the whole you. Hi, this is Dr. Darvish. If you have not found an answer to your chronic symptoms, you will find answers here at Holistic Medical Center. Our doctors find the root cause of your symptoms and guide your body towards healing naturally. We transform lives from within. Visit drdarvish.com or call 425-451-0404.
Naturopathic doctor, founder of the Martha's Vineyard Holistic Retreat, and author of the New York Times bestseller 21 Pounds in 21 Days, Dr. Ronnie DeLuce has helped tens of thousands of people, including celebrities and athletes, with her message of lifestyle change. Now Dr. Ronnie DeLuce wants to help you. You too can be saved. Email Dr. Ronnie DeLuce at info@ronniedeluceonradio.com and visit mvholisticretreat.com. Dr. Ronnie DeLuce, your partner in wellness.
Building it up, but you're shooting me down. But I'm already down, just wait a minute. Just sit and wait.
Wow. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. More with Tim Darter and Steve Kramer of Spirit Fire Radio. I am so thrilled about this. Kicking off their show. We are kicking off their show. It's so exciting. But before we jump in and talk about, your latest retreat, tell folks a little bit about the show and let's set the stage for what you're getting ready to do. I'm thrilled and excited.
Sure. This is Steve. We at Spirit Fire have our own meditation practice. It's called the Practice of Living Awareness, and it's a 14-step meditation practice. We broadcast live almost every day. We do live online guided meditations that are 20 minutes long, and each week is a different step. It's 14 steps, 14 weeks, and we just said, we're always stressing the ways in which you can bring meditation off the cushion and into your life and use the tools that we're teaching you in everyday situations, in relationships, at your job, when you're at the grocery store, with your kids. And we realized that it would make a great fodder for a show, that each week we talk about a different step. We invite a guest who's the essence of their life. What is it they do for their job, where their passions lie, seems to emulate one of those steps. And we thought, well, why not talk about their life, about what they're doing in their life and the ways that that tool shows itself naturally, and bring a little bit of meditation into it, some positive affirmations, and basically go there, 14 steps, 14 shows, and repeat it again, just like we do with the practice.
And we're lining up our first few episodes now, and we're really excited. Next week, when we kick off the show, we'll be discussing all of the history of the practice of living awareness with our founder, Donna Mitchell-Moniak, and just get her wealth of knowledge on how all of the practice came together and how she's always intended it to be used off the meditation cushion. So we'll get her insight into that as well.
Oh, this is great. This is really great. I mean, this is exciting for, of course, you both run a retreat center and now a radio show. And so, how is it going at the retreat center? Tell me, what was it like this last retreat you did?
Oh, it was awesome. We had one of the best retreats we've ever had. It was a group out of California who decided to do a retreat on the East Coast, and it was all around the caregivers, for caregivers of autistic children. And so the programming was just incredible, and it was so fun to see it. And what was really unique for it, from my perspective, is we always see people coming through the retreat center, working on themselves, trying to better themselves. Well, this group, the goal was to better themselves for someone else, which was their child who happens to have autism. So the difference in that poignancy, just in their attention, was incredible. And Steve's been gushing about it for the last week as well. So what was it that you thought was so great about it, Steve?
I just loved it from the beginning to the end. One thing that is, I always find interesting and it's a challenge is when somebody says to us, we always ask them, what are your dietary preferences? And you'll have a host that says, we're going to go vegan. Well, for those of you that really don't know the difference between vegan and vegetarian, a vegan has no animal products whatsoever on their plate, not even honey.
Eggs, no dairy.
So this is a 5-day retreat. We've got 3 meals a day. You've got 15 people. You're basically putting on a dinner party, 3 times a day for 5 days. That's a lot of vegan food. So it was a really wonderful creative challenge and just really amazing to watch people come in. And we said, listen, right off the bat, please tell everybody that you're going to serve them, vegan food so that they're at least prepared. But what they were really trying to do was really clean their system out. The goal of this retreat was to open up your sensitivity, really clean your system so that you are developing the 6th sense and getting to know your 5 senses so well. So a big part of that was the diet. And Tim and I are in the kitchen. We're the head chefs. We're the only chefs at the center. So it's always fun for us and so interesting to watch, to sense energetically and vibrationally what's happening as the meals go on and as people sort of let go of their ideas about food and their sort of desire nature of I need cheese, Right. So for me, just the menu alone was so interesting in the ways they related it to vibration and they related it to the subtle systems. And in terms of being caregivers for autistic children, who are very sensitive. These kids are often clairsentient and clairaudient and clairvoyant. They've got a way of sensing very clearly what's happening around them, of claircognizance, of clear knowing. And so for the moms to open themselves up to say, well, I've got that potential. I can do that myself. And let's start with what I'm putting in my body.
And what was really cool with this programming was the coordinators of it, that was their intent. It was to show the moms how each of their children, because they have autism, have spiritual gifts to offer. And it's up to them to kind of figure out how to align with that, how to figure out and be intuitive to pick up on that with their own child and actually address whatever autistic issues they have with their child in a different way, in an alternative way that includes, whether it's energy healing. And the food was a big part of that. It was bringing yourself up to a vibration that was very clean so that you'd have an easier chance to tap into whatever it is your child could convey to you.
Yeah, it's a really good point, Tim. It's, these children, as we all do, which one of us doesn't want to be met? We
Right.
need to be met where it is we stand. Well, that takes a certain level of awareness. And when you've got somebody who's hypersensitive, hyper-aware, hyper-sentient, well, you need to find a way, especially as a mom. You love these kids. You want to be there for them. You want to support them. Well, how many times do we hear this in all spiritual circles? You can't take care of someone else until you take care of yourself. This is what we hear all the time. Well, this was taken to the hilt. This was taken to the extremes. So it was really, really fun. And Tim is the most amazing cook, by the way. This guy can do things with chocolate that, of course, will get you revved up. But he's got ways to do it that don't have sugar, that have so much flavor. The menu was really, really amazing.
I love it. I have to ask you this question. Okay. Now that you've talked about this, I have to know what you guys cooked. Give us, all right, come on. Tell me, what was your best breakfast and your best dessert?
Oh. What do you think the best breakfast was, Steve?
Well, greens. The best breakfast was greens. They would the first breakfast they came out, right, Tim? And they said, What? Greens? What's this salad for breakfast?
I've never had greens for breakfast before.
Oh my gosh.
And by the third day, they were like, where's the greens? I haven't put them out yet. They're coming.
Oh my gosh. And this is really interesting, right? Because here you are, and had they ever had a vegan diet before? Had they ever tried it before?
No, so us when we're trying to put the menu together, that's really touchy because people who go cold turkey in that regard, really by the second day are feeling it. And one of the things that we're really careful about is including things in the menu so they don't feel it, which we found where we can be pretty good at with all kinds of different pieces of using coconut and oils and things of that nature that really make you feel satisfied.
And that is going to be our first show about the episode, which is Smile. And we have a nutritionist coming on to talk about food, ways to make your body smile and your cells smile and keep you happy and eating clean. So let me tell you, through the whole process, we became pretty clairaudient and clairsentient and claircognizant. We'd look out in the dining room and say, "Oh, is everybody good? How's their energy?" We developed like the sixth sense just along with them, which is wonderful. We get in the vibration of the group, and we really learn so much and tap into their vibe and what it is they're learning.
Yeah.
And isn't this interesting? Because let's talk about this when we come back. Someone said something interesting to me about a week ago. And what they said was, you know what? Some days I just want someone to listen to me. I just want to be seen. I just want to be heard. And what a beautiful thing that you offer. Because people coming in and coming through your doors, right? Probably in worlds and lifetimes where it's hard for people to listen and understand and pay attention to what they need. But this is really, isn't this one of the most, let's just use the term, mindful gifts that you guys give people? I hadn't thought about that till just now.
Indeed, and I would even go, don't get me started on that. I would go as far as
I want to get you started.
It's our purpose. That's why we are here. We are relational beings. We are here to soak it all up and revel and have reverence and enjoy and really take part, and co-create. We're here to do that with each other. And be met, feel met, and be joyfully wanting to meet each and every person around you.
And to really listen to what the other person has to say so that we can sense into what it is that they really need.
Wow, I love this. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we're going to find out the juiciness that awaits us as Spirit Fire Radio launches into the fifth dimension. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Enlightening, humorous, and compassionate. Listen live to The Kelly Ballard Show, insight and inspiration from the great beyond. Kelly is a fourth-generation medium and intuitive who covers topics ranging from grief, spirit guides, and listening to your intuition. Kelly can help you get answers and guidance from the other side with a little bit of humor and a lot of healing. Tune in to The Kelly Ballard Show, Thursdays at 1 p.m. Pacific Time here on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Transformation Talk Radio is dedicated to the education and awareness of Lyme disease.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Lyme Talk Radio. I'm Dr. Pat, joined here by
Dr. Nusheen Darvish.
Dr. Pat Basili and Dr. Nusheen Darvish will be bringing the most innovative, groundbreaking information, research, treatment innovations, and stories from those it affects every day.
I'm so excited to be talking about this.
We have so much to share.
Dr. Darvish and I are planning to do is connect the dots.
People suffering with all sorts of chronic diseases, it's time. It is time for them to transform.
Tune into Lyme Talk Radio and help keep our mission strong.
For the loyal listeners out there that have been listening to this incredible show on Lyme disease, we are not going to let you down. We're going to come through stronger and enrich the platform for Lyme disease awareness through Lyme Talk Radio. The message will continue, the conversations will become stronger, and the healing epic.
Calling all dreamers. Are you living your dream life? Actualize your possibilities with Life Coaching Radio and your host, Deb Stetzer. If you're feeling stuck in a rut, Deb is here to help you turn your dreams into a reality. Life Coaching Radio. Dream it, live it, be it. To learn more about Deb, visit www.mylifecoach.us.
Tune in to Sheer Alchemy with Leslie Fontaine on TransformationTalkRadio.com and get ready to stir up your passions, identify your blocks, and shift into an entirely new existence. Leslie Fontaine is a transformation catalyst and clairvoyant who uses her intuitive and energetic gifts to catapult listeners into living the life they were born to live. Whether it's shifting from scarcity to abundance, from emotional pain into joy, or from illness into health, Leslie will help you step into the true essence and power of all that you are with the help of the Ascended Masters and Archangels. You will not be the same. Visit TransformationTalkRadio.com for show dates and times, and LeslieFontaine.com to say yes to explosive abundance.
You're beautiful, that's for sure. You'll never, ever fade. You're lovely, but it's not for sure.
I love it, Benny. Thank you so much. Tim, Steve, joining us here today. Before we jump in and start to talk about your guests and some of the things that they have said, ideas that you've gotten, please let folks know, first of all, how to find out more about the radio show, and then how to find out more about the retreat center, because here we are talking about it. People are going to be like, well, wait a minute, I want to go there too.
Yeah, so the radio show, you can check us out on www.spiritfireradio.com, and you can find out who's going to be one of our next guests and some more information regarding Steve and myself. And then for the retreat center, you can go to www.spiritfireretreatcenter.com and find out all there is about the facility and what we offer. And our main website is spiritfire.com, so from there you can get to any one of the others.
Wow. Now, I just want to clarify something. The retreat center, can you tell us, because this is sort of the lead-in to what we're going to talk about, can you tell us about what happens at the retreat center? Because we're kind of teasing it with the delicious food, and we were talking about some yummy desserts, and I'm hoping you're going to be like doing your show and having a dessert, having a recipe per show or something you're going to tell us about. But tell us about the retreat center and what happens there for a minute, because I know we're going to talk about some of the people that come through and some of the things that you've heard, but let's talk about how the retreat center unfolds.
Sure. We broadcast there the practice of living awareness, which is going to be the backbone of our radio show, and we broadcast meditations there 7 days a week. It's a meditative retreat center. It's an old New England farmhouse with a brand new green built meditation center annex built onto it with a beautiful meditation room. We've got an art barn, an art studio, 95 acres. So it's everything you really need. It's everything that's within the practice itself. You've got nature, you've got food, you've got space to meditate, you've got New England breeze, you've got 4 seasons, you've got flow, you've got animals everywhere. So it's a beautiful center. We do our own meditation practice retreats there. We have one coming up next week in 2 weeks. We also open it up to other programmers. We've got shamanic sound groups. We've got lots of creative writing groups. We've got tons of yoga groups. We've got meditation groups. We've got Zen Buddhists. There's tangas on the walls. It's a very Buddhist feel to the place. It feels quite sacred, and just lots of space and room for contemplation.
I want to ask you this. We've talked earlier about people that come through the doors, sort of the revolving door of healers and seekers and so forth. And having said that this was, one of the best retreats you've had, let's talk about what you've learned. What insights have you gained? Because we touched upon it a little bit, but not just from this retreat. But, as people come through the door, usually they'll leave something behind. What if they left? What have they left behind for each of you to now take forward? See, I love this idea of what gets left behind then gets to be reborn and move forward. What have they left behind for you now to bring forth?
Well, they leave behind just beautiful heart energy. That's one beautiful thing about living and working at a spiritual center. When a group leaves, there just is a sense of community and a sense of love, a sense of interconnectedness that gets left behind. And we feel it. We love to we love to sort of create that environment so that vibration is always lingering, but they certainly leave that behind, and they leave us with really just a sense of connection to humanity,
Right.
and just understanding that this planet is ours. It is ours to experience, ours to create, and it just keeps us wanting to just keep that going, keep that sense of Tim. That sense of what's the word I'm looking for? Reverence. That's my favorite word.
Reverence. Yeah. And the center hums with that, even after they're gone, till the next one comes. And what's really nice is, you always hear how everyone feels the same thing type things. Well, it really is true. This last retreat, it was great to hear, people actually say, well, how do I meditate? Why can't I meditate? And struggle with that. If I can't settle my brain, I can't calm my mind. And then be able to convey to them the message that, well, that's normal. Don't get upset about that. It's all part of the journey. And then to have the radio show where we can turn around and say, guess what, everyone? This is what everyone goes through when they start to meditate, and here's how to make it better.
Yeah, and actually for us to be there to say to someone, there was a woman that was loving this salad dressing. She said, what's in this salad dressing? And we said, it's tarragon and lemon and a little salt and pepper and olive oil. She said, no, give me the recipe. You just don't want to tell me what's really in this salad dressing. And we said, it's tarragon. And we said, have you really just sat and really tasted tarragon? And we said to her, go outside. Along the path is our herb garden. I'll show you the tarragon. Go sit. Give yourself 10 minutes. Sit on the ground. Sit right on the walkway. Pull a piece of tarragon off. Take a look at it. Feel it. Smell it on your fingertips. Chew on it. You're going to taste this taste, and you're going to realize that it's amazing. Like, that's so much. It's little fireworks, and take a look at the little green surfboards. Chew on this little green surfboard. And what I love is that you don't realize that 10 minutes, do we often really allow ourselves just 10 minutes? That is mindfulness to say, you're right. I'm just going to go outside. I'm going to sit in front of this tarragon plant, and I'm going to really enjoy it. I'm going to take it in. I'm going to really sort of revel in this product of God's green earth, and giving myself the time to do that and open up my senses, really sort of appreciate what it is that I've got in front of me. So appreciation is a huge, huge part of that. And
isn't it?
Yeah,
it's huge. Yeah. I mean, appreciation, I hear something else from you guys, gratitude. And what I'm starting to notice, and when you talk about this, is you are so grateful for the folks that come through. I mean, not only about who they are and what they do, but sort of the energy of what they also leave behind. And, this is a rare moment where we actually get to talk about energy that is being left behind, that you don't have to clear the place out. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to call my friend John Holland to come in and do some kind of clearing here, right?
No, we just go lay on the floor and soak it all up. Yeah. We get cleared from it all. It's just beautiful.
Oh my gosh. You know what? Let's talk about the vision for the radio show. And I don't know how much you want to share, if we can have a little sneak preview. But when you and I first talked, I'll tell you what I was really struck by. When we first met, I talked to you about this radio series, and then you guys went off, and then the next time we talked, you had laid out like 15 different shows. And I was so excited. I had never had that happen before. And I'm still excited about it. And you guys still are excited. Have you changed that at all? Or have you just continued to build upon what you created?
Not one bit. You shot an arrow and it landed firm. Not one bit. This last retreat, who knew that all of these women who've got autistic kids, who knew that they've all become law experts? Here's just one example. All of these women have lawyers. These are just moms, you and me, our kids, our family, and all of a sudden now we've got a law firm. And what was amazing just talking to this one mom, we're not going to get deep into autism, but as we talked to them all, we realized that there were issues around GMOs, there were issues around vaccines and just contemplating them. There were issues around chemicals in our food supply. And all of these women really had to really come together, and their life calling was to notice what's being put in the system that is going to affect my child. You talk about energy being left behind.
Yeah.
Well, it's exactly that. Energy has been put into the planet, has been put into our food, has been put into our body, and we're seeing the direct results of that. That energy has its effect on our DNA. It has an effect on these kids. And what's amazing is these kids are so sensitive. You hear from all of these moms that their kids can be in a situation and sense, just with their vibrational energy body, sense the quality of the vibration coming from a piece of food or coming from an emotion or coming from a situation. They're so sensitive to it. Isn't it amazing that the very system that a lot of these moms are coming to realize, that the very system that has created the DNA switches that have created these children with autism is creating children who, in the end, are so completely perceptive to looking at the quality and the vibration that that system is creating. Now, doesn't that just make your head go, whoa? I never thought about that before this retreat. I mean, these numbers, they were telling us that, in the year 2000, autism was 1 in 150 kids. In 2013, 1 in 88. 2013, 1 in 88. 2015, 1 in 68. It's increased 30% in just 2 years. I mean, these numbers make you go, whoa. Well, there's one step of the practice that is toroidal flow. That is basically saying what is within is also without. It's an amazing practice for us all to learn that what we've got going inside is often expressed on the outside. When we're feeling amazing inside, we magnetize amazing things to ourselves. When we're feeling awful, well, oftentimes the situation in the world will show us something awful as a vibrational match. So you talk about energy being left behind. We think about steps of the practice. We look at toroidal flow. It's all right in front of us. We just get totally stoked and excited, and we say, come be on our show. Let's talk about toroidal flow. Let's talk about how that works in meditation as an aspect of meditation.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this, but we have started to publish some information that we have been waiting 13 years for. When we first started this, it was in the first year of doing the show that we noticed that the listeners were, first of all, they were women, but they were moms. And so we were trying to beat the doors down at Arbitron and these other places and saying, hey, you're just not counting them. Finally, in the past 2 years, thanks to a group of moms, they've now put out a complete package of research, which is called Moms in Media. And here's what they found. Not only are these women affluent and well educated, but they are plugged in. And so what you're talking about here, it's kind of like if we didn't have this research to talk to most people about the audience, it would be you and me having a conversation about what you've just experienced, right? Anecdotal. Now the research says, wait a minute, 94% are plugged into their smartphones. They take it everywhere. They are the new talk radio audience. They are listening. They are sharing. And so does that surprise you at all based on what you've just experienced?
Not at all. And it's what Tim was saying earlier about people wanting to be met. Well, who wants to be met more than a child by his mother and a mother to her child? And, these women are receptors. They're open. They want to meet their children where they need to be met. And often you hear them all the time saying, I want to be a vibration. They don't say it. These are my terms. A vibration match to my kid. Like, I don't want to let my kid is so sensitive. He's so tapped in. He's so right here and present. And now they feel the magic of their children. And they say, I don't want the system to shift that. I want to be there to support them. And you know what they always come down to? I need to support myself first.
Mm-hmm.
And they're open to a lot of different ways of doing that, which
and plus they're listening to talk radio. They want to be tapped in. They want to be tuned in.
And they're going on retreats to learn different ways of handling different situations.
Exactly. And this is what I love about this. And it doesn't mean that there aren't men that do this. I mean, all you have to do is listen to Benny and what a great dad he is, for sure. But generally, this particular population has never been counted let's just say, in a positive way.
Yeah.
We always hear how moms are burned out trying to juggle this and juggle that. But we're now saying that, hey, they have strong mobile tendencies. They're committed to social media. They are the household CEO. And in the world we live in, they're making decisions. They have a mobile lifestyle, constantly accessible, no signs. They're showing no signs of slowing down. So we don't think about mom/women in the technology mode, right?
Yeah.
Right.
This was groundbreaking. And this is what you guys are talking about as well. We're not just talking about a few people. And what was, you want to hear what was shocking about this survey they did? They thought that the population was going to be under 35. They thought that the study was going, no. They came back and they said, hold on, wait a minute. 33% are 35 to 44. 32% are 44 plus. And is this the new mom, guys? Is that what we're talking about from your experience? Not that moms are the only folks that come to your center, but this is really sort of a breakthrough in what we've seen out in the open, right?
Well, we certainly have a lot of groups that are just moms of some sort. We have a group, yoga moms.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we have a group for moms and their daughters on Mother's Day. So it is definitely a trend that we see.
Definitely a trend. And I think that's just got so much to do with always being in the presence of the innocence and a child who's so absolutely aware and absolutely tapped in and saying, I want to meet my child at that place. And, moms know momentum. They know how to micromanage, as you say. They know how to keep it all going on and spin a lot of plates at once. And we say, hey, and they're saying, well, help me out a little bit with a meditation practice. I think that might come in handy. And we say, yeah, no problem. Step in.
Well, and part of this is really the anomaly of this, which you guys are talking about, right? One of it is that, 84% own smartphones. And people say, oh, what's a big deal about that? Well, the big deal is that the national average is 71. And so if we're plugged in and we're looking to better ourselves and we're looking to get revived, isn't this what the conversation then gets to be about as you launch the radio show? Is how can all of us, whether you're a mom or not, how can we have what they are getting, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and it's collective consciousness,
Yes, it is.
It's a smartphone for a reason. It's because there's so much at your fingertips. They're on listening to talk radio for a reason. There's so much at their fingertips. These moms really want to be there. They want to be supportive. They want to be in the know. They really want to evolve, and I believe they want to meet their children at the level of evolution at which we all enter this world in. We enter joyful. We enter, this word reverence. Well, what's not a kid's going to go outside and certainly listen and chomp on tarragon and enjoy the little green surfboards, and moms want to meet their kid there too. And it's like, they need the tools for that. And they need to sometimes give themselves time to do that and listen to an hour of talk radio. Sit down for 5 minutes and really taste some tarragon, or meditate every day for just 20 minutes. It all helps to become a part of that, get into that level of awareness and of functionality.
I love this. I want to ask you each a question about this the upcoming radio show. I would love to ask you, each of you, what are you most excited about? And what do you believe in these upcoming radio shows? What do you believe the message is going to be that you want to leave behind? What are you most excited about? What's the message?
Tim?
What am I most excited about? I will say I am most excited about our first show next week, because I really want to hear Donna's take on everything that we're doing. We've heard it, of course, behind the scenes because we see her every day, but to really get into the whole history of it all and to see where it came from and the energy that spawned it and the energy where it's going to, that's one of the things I'm looking forward to.
Oh, I'm just excited to connect the dots. This meditation practice has given me so much. I learned to meditate with the practice of living awareness, and I know it works, and I see it myself use it every day. And I just can't wait to have these guests on and to be able to see the way that this is expressed. I know this practice to be such a beautiful synergetic and a synthesis of so many different spiritual practices. We see that all the time today. All of these different modalities coming together. We're becoming this world. We're becoming a one world mind and a one world process. And I believe that this meditation practice is moving that along. I believe it's at the forefront of modern meditation practices, as does Donna. And that's, I know,
Right.
part of Tim's excitement is that she gets so excited and she knows it so well. And it's going to be great to talk to her about it. But I'm just excited to see how it's expressed in the real world and to have people really be able to connect those dots and go, yeah, you're right. Wow, that's awesome. I see it.
And there's fun in the unknown too. Just anticipating of what it could be is just fun to think about and to feel.
And, that is the world that we live in. When we enter this world of, contemporary radio, what happens with this is, it's not like in the olden days where, there was a radio host and the radio host did the radio and, there was a team of producers around the radio host and, they made sure. I mean, I don't reference Howard Stern that often, but, he is certainly the one that you look at to see what does it take to run a radio show, right? And you look at what he had to do in order to get his message out there. And that is really the world we live in. It requires an intention. And so let me ask you this, and thank you guys. I'm so excited. Please remind people again when you are going to be launching the show, what time it's on, what day it's on. And then I wanted to just ask you what your personal message is.
Sure. The show starts next Wednesday. A week from today, we're at 12 noon Eastern, and we'll be at 9 a.m. Pacific. And every Wednesday thereafter for the next year, at least.
And I'd have to say my personal message would be own it and accept it.
Awesome. And then you also have Spirit Fire's Practice of Living Awareness. Now that's also beginning, right? The meditations are online and free. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Sure. That starts, I believe, on the 14th. We have a brand new round starting, which is perfect timing. We have a retreat that's centered around the practice itself. The radio show's starting. We're going to start with step 1 in 2 weeks after we introduce the whole practice next week with the founder. And then the day after our radio show, she starts step 1. So that's all online. It's free. You can get it through spiritfire.com. And we do live meditations for the beginners 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, every week. So we'll see, but it looks like the radio show is going to kind of coincide with the steps. So you can listen to somebody talk deeply about the steps, and then you can go on the blog or listen live, join live, or go to the blog to download podcasts and do the meditations.
Wow, it's great, isn't it? And, folks can just go and find out and just go to the website, right? I mean, this is something that they can just go to the website and it'll be right there, and then they plug in, right?
Absolutely.
Well, I want to just ask you guys, I hope that as you roll this show out, that you will at least think about giving us a little recipe each week for something. Just a little thinking about that, because I love what you just told me about combining beets with fennel. Wow.
All right, we'll think about it. We've got plenty of them up our sleeve.
Okay.
On our sleeve, actually.
Right.
Well, I love it. Thank you both for joining me here today. Thank you for all that you do. And it's so exciting to see what is being revealed to all of us through Spirit Fire Radio. Thank you so much. I want to thank Benny for pushing all the right buttons, as he does on every occasion. I want to thank all of you out there for tuning us in and turning us on. And we're going to take a short break, but just know that we will be right back with the Dr. Pat Show and Transformation Talk Radio. And as I've said before, stay tuned. We are fine-tuning transformationradio.fm. We've got some really cool things planned for all of you, including a very special midnight venue for Psychic Talk Radio. We'll see you next time, everyone.
Thank you.